Because money don't buy you everything. You know what I'm saying? Just because a person got more money than you or a person in a better position than you doesn't mean you can't offer them something that is of value.
Right.
Right. And so, to your point, I felt the need to support somebody that I can identify that we can have a healthy transactional relationship. And I'm not just calling him when I need something.
And we're back with another episode of FYM with Ty and Yo. If you're a first-time viewer, FYM is an ignorant conversation about wellness. Wellness is it's our lives, right?
Yeah,
everything.
I recently met this. I talk about wellness so much to people unconsciously nowadays. I met this guy named I won't pronounce his name, but he is a real estate guy who owns a wellness hotel, West Palm Beach. Got introduced to him via phone. We got connected on text message. And he just really loved, his wellness hotel, his two daughters run it. He loved that I was like really focused on the musical wellness, the thought process of like wellness retreats, like all of these different things. And while we was talking, he talked about he wanted us to buy a wellness hotel in Miami, and that we should all do it together.
Oh, okay. Have you involved?
Obviously, I don't know how much money he think I got, but he was talking like very equal, But I just listened and I was appreciative. I was texting him, and then he called and he was like, "Hey, how you doing? And man, it's so great about wellness. We should figure some stuff out. You should come by the hotel. Like, let me know what your schedule is like." I got to send him dates too. I'm telling. So he said, "I did research. You're from Atlanta, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I grew up in Atlanta or whatever." He's like, "I have a 400 unit property that I'm currently working on, and I need some help. I need some help with somebody that know how to communicate." And it was just a very interesting ask, right? And so me being that, he's trying to be helpful with what I'm trying to do in wellness, I figured, man, let me see, can I help him with what he's trying to do in Atlanta? So I connected with a few people that, I felt like was good with communication, that could kind of like do the things that at least base level be able to communicate at a high level. And so the reason why, I did that is because I didn't want our relationship to feel transactional. We just met one another, and it comes off as if he can offer me way more than I can offer him. So I wanted to be thoughtful in like that aspect of things, right? So today on the show, I want to touch on this concept of like being opportunistic or playing the field, or these transactional relationships that you indirectly trigger by how, I guess you would say, driven or sometimes desperate,
Right.
that you are to get your end desired result, right? So we want to just talk about the best practices on that,
100%.
how to avoid being, that guy or that girl,
Right.
that transactional guy, that transactional girl. I know you've, felt that part about it. And I remember having this conversation, and I called Sean G about this at Live Nation, because at one point I thought that our relationship was all transactional. And I didn't really like how that felt, because he was just like, every time he hit me, he wanted something. But every time he hit me, it was a check for a client.
Connected to it.
Right?
Yeah.
So as I grew up and realized, I was like, that is really a transactional relationship, because both parties are benefiting from it.
Yes.
Right? What we want to talk about today is those transactional relationships where both parties don't benefit from it, right?
100%.
That is what we're trying to talk to young hustlers that's trying to position
Yeah.
themselves with fuck you money. So what I mean by that is, if every time you look at your phone, you text this person because you want something,
Mm-hmm.
and this person is in a position where they don't necessarily need anything from you, but you're always hitting them like you want something, right? You don't check on how their day is going.
Right.
You don't say kind things to them to try to
Right.
walk through. You don't even offer things that you might think that they like because you haven't even took the time to learn what they might like. If you can't serve them from an opportunity perspective, you might serve them from flowering or
Yeah.
gifts or
Emotional.
compliments or emotional support, whatever the
Yeah.
case might be, right? I think that that is a huge problem within the industry we work in.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to talk through how you cannot be that guy, that girl.
Tell me this, Ty. Uh, the man you were just explaining, do you feel like he was very forward when he came?
Very forward,
Yeah.
extremely forward.
Now, was that uncomfortable? Did it make you feel like you had to react a certain kind of way because of how forward he was?
No, no.
Mhm.
The reason why I was super open to it because I like relationships that are intentionally
Mhm.
transactional, but also a part of a community. 'Cause,
Yep.
you gotta have transactions in community to make that money, on.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So transactions is not a bad thing. I don't want to weaponize the word transaction because transactions are just basically exchange of services and goods,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
That's
Yeah.
all it is, right?
That's it.
If you go to the grocery store and every time you go to the grocery store, they just take your money, but they don't give you no good. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, wait a minute, like I just paid for this, but I don't get no
I ain't got no
where my oranges
groceries.
at?
You
You
know what I'm
told me
saying?
I was gonna get my oranges, I ain't get my oranges,
Yeah.
right? So for me, I felt the need to I identify somebody that potentially can be a new peer in the
Yep. In the
community.
community. Yep.
So let's be honorable and let's not make this a one-sided transactional relationship. It doesn't matter how much money a person got more than you.
Yep.
You can always find ways to add value to the relationship.
100%.
Even if it's just sending them information about shit that they never knew about. Connecting them with people that probably can help them because money don't buy you everything. You know what I'm saying?
Say that
Just
again.
because a person got more money than you or a person in a better position than you doesn't mean you can't offer them something that is of value,
Right.
right? And so, to your point, I felt the need to support somebody that I can identify that we can have a healthy transactional relationship, and
Mhm.
I'm not just calling him when I need something.
Right. Now, can you give me an example using the same two people that would have been unhealthy? Is there a way for that? If he would have came at you a way that you would have been like,
Right.
yeah,
Me not help him
yeah,
and me not acknowledge it. Me just only followed up because I wanted something solely, right?
mhm,
I didn't follow up with him because I wanted something from him. I followed up with him to help because I felt like that the human could be a good asset to I could be a good asset to his community
yeah,
and he could be a good asset to my community.
100%.
Right. And I knew clearly how I could help him because one, he already addressed that wellness is a very serious thing to him.
Mhm,
This thing in Atlanta is just additional
yeah,
support case that has nothing to do with wellness,
right,
right? And it has nothing to do with me making a check at this particular time. I didn't
mhm,
see that, oh, this could be a check. I actually told the person that I connected them with, I said, hey, this is somebody I'm building a relationship with. It's important that you help them out because he and I are aligned on the things that we both want to do in wellness. And this is just something to like be a conduit to be servicing of service. It's a service, you know what I'm saying?
and look how you extended the communication for community, right? Like, he asked you for help, you knew someone that could help him, and then the way you explained
Hmm.
how you were introducing them to this person and the reasons why you were introducing them.
Right.
So now it's like you keeping everyone understands why we're here, what we're doing,
Hmm.
and how this is going to become like I was like, it's a community, it's community
Right.
building
Right.
versus you be like, oh, I'm gonna connect you with somebody, and then you did not explain to them who he was to you.
Right.
Cause then maybe they look at it like, I don't know why Ty want me to do this.
Right.
There's a breakdown of communication that can obviously affect the way the transaction works.
Hmm.
Like the transaction can fall apart if the communication isn't proper.
Right. So the first thing I'll say to the young hustlers, I call young hustlers because once you get to a certain age, you stop hustling, you
Mhm,
start progressing.
mhm,
Hustling doesn't mean that you progress. So I say
mhm.
to young hustlers because they hitting the lines, they spamming at times, a little
Spamming
spamming.
it. Yeah.
So first thing about transactional relationships that I would like to talk about is when you look at your email or your text message, and every time you look at that person's number, and all you see is a bunch of messages of you asking them for something,
Mhm,
check yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's the first thing. Second thing is when you meet somebody
mhm,
and they say what they do, right? And you immediately go into pitching them some shit,
mhm,
check yourself,
mhm,
right? The third thing, which I think is probably the most important thing, is know what value you bring to the table before you meet somebody,
mhm.
right? Meaning that if you are a person that is trying to meet people so that you can help your songs be playlisted,
Yeah.
right? But on your spare time, you are an avid reader.
Mhm,
Suggest them a book to be like, hey man, I don't know if you're a reader or not, but although I do music, I do read a lot. And based on the conversation we had, I think you'll like this book. What happens is that humans in general, they will categorize you in that category
mhm.
as, somebody that suggested this book to me. Now, if they've never read that book and they read that book and that book is impactful, sometimes blessing people with knowledge, they're going to remember that in a way that is like you can't even think about it. And I'll give you an example. So I have a very unique relationship with Carl Cherry from Spotify. The reason why I say it's unique because one time me and Carl Cherry was talking, I was like, man, listen, man, we're not friends. We work in the same industry and we can be assistants to one another. And, I'm gonna pitch you music. Some of the stuff you're gonna like, some of the stuff you're not gonna like. I'm paraphrasing at this time. But
Mhm.
the core of it is that I expressed to him, like, I know we're not friends. So I'm
Mhm.
not gonna approach you like we friends.
Yeah.
I'm gonna approach you like we're peers that work in the industry and you work at a job that I can help you. And at times, there's gonna be times that maybe you reach out and I can help you, right?
Mhm.
It can go both ways. You help me, I help you. And that's a transaction that helps your job. It's a transaction that helps my job.
100%.
So I'm in Turks and Caicos, and mind you, I try my best not to call Carl Cherry. Mind you, the reason why I say our relationship is unique, one of the times I hit him when I first learned about this young man, or this, I don't know if we're the same age or whatever,
Mhm.
but I hit him on a Saturday. He was like, yo, B, it's a Saturday. And I was like, damn, man, my bad.
Yeah.
I just be working and hustling, man. I apologize. Ever since then, I've never hit that man on
On
a Saturday.
Saturday.
And when I did hit him on a Saturday, I would be like, hey, I know it's a Saturday.
Yeah.
My bad. But this is something that I just had to ask you. And he just respected that I never forgot. I didn't feel like, who you talking to, nigga? Like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't do none of
Yeah.
that. I was like, this man got a boundary. Don't hit him on no Saturday or no
I was about to
Sunday.
say he got a boundary.
He got a boundary.
Yeah.
So from there, we was able to have a very clear relationship on what our objectives is in each
Yeah.
other's professional life,
Right.
right? Fast forward years and years later,
Okay.
I'm in Turks and Caicos on a wellness retreat with the women, with the women, and I'm launching a wellness studio on Mira's Wellness side. I call Carl for some guidance. I said, hey man, I know this at your lane, but I'm trying to figure out the Spotify wellness world from a curation perspective because it's really hard to get a beat on these guys. And so we start talking. And then he said something about whatever he said is triggered therapy for men. And we started talking. I was like, man, I've been trying to figure out programming for men through wellness, Mirror's Wellness Club.
Mhm.
And I was like, you might have just sent me on this rabbit hunt you didn't even realize, right? I was like, he said, I don't have to be a part of it. It's just something that I think it's important that Black men specifically should be talking about therapy more.
100%.
Right? I said, I agree with you. So we get off the call. He sent me down this rabbit hole. I go and I'm talking to different people. Fast forward.
Just off that one conversation.
Yeah. So I kept him in loop with it. Every time I would have a conversation, I would call him. I'm like, yo, I got this going. I was talking to Ebro. Woo. He thinking about this. He was like, yo, that's dope. That's dope. Yo, keep me in loop. He said, I don't got to be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? But if you want me to, I'm down. But this don't have to be a Spotify thing. This could just be like, I think Black men need it. And I'm like, no, because I've been trying to figure out this programming specifically for year 4 of Mirror's Wellness Club to introduce wellness for men. Fast forward, I'm still down this rabbit hole. I know what it is, but I haven't found the soul yet.
Okay.
I'm on the phone with my man Kurt from New Balance. Every time me and Kurt get on the phone, mind you, I met Kurt during the Harvard course.
Oh, dope.
Kurt do global marketing for New Balance. When I saw he was at New Balance, I knew Brent been trying to fuck with New Balance. So I started to build a genuine relationship with him. We talk about golf. We talk about marriage. When me and Kurt get on the phone, we'll randomly get on the phone. We'll be on the phone for an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Either we venting about shit or we just chopping it up, talking about marriage, life, all type of things, right? So this is how this conversation kind of happened. I just said, yo, man, you have some time to talk? He's like, can I hit you in 30 minutes? He didn't hit me. The next day I followed up with him because I had a question about this kid we just signed on the NIL side with basketball. So we get through that conversation, then we start talking about therapy. I was like, man, you know, and he said to me, he said, man, my wife went on this retreat to Hawaii, and my wife is in all of the wellness shit. She was with the breathing techniques, everything it is, really she with it, right? He said, me? I'm like, you know, it's my wife, so I ain't gonna tell her no. He said, but we go to this wellness retreat, and I'm already out of, you know, I'm out of my territory with this. He said, but what the thing was that I took away from the conversation with him, he talked about this men's retreat that happened after this conference somewhere in New York. It was like 70 men stayed after the conference, and they had therapy sessions that they talked about openly. He said it was an older guy that said, man, I wish I'd have had this when I was like 30 years younger, right? And Kurt said something on the phone. He said, man, you know, we as Black men, I just ain't trying to speak my damn feelings to a bunch of strangers, right? And I say, that's what it is, man. As Black men, man, we don't want to talk no more for strangers about our shit. That's why we confide and we emotional with our community and all of those different things.
Right.
And it hit me. I've been trying to figure out this content series for men with therapy. I already got the story. I already got how long it's gonna be, everything. And it's called Being Vulnerable with Strangers.
Being vulnerable with strangers.
And I told Kurt, I said, man, I really want to thank you because I've been trying to figure out how I said, I'll invest my own money, but I'm not investing my money if I don't know what story I'm telling. And he said, man, I said, I really want to thank you, man, because this conversation brought it along. So I sent the name to Carl, and he was like, yo, I love that. You know what I'm saying? I sent it to Ebro, and Ebro responded. He responded to something that was always 2 text messages up. I guess he was trying to get to it.
Yeah.
But and then boom, I'm thinking about the wellness hotel. Do I do content at the wellness hotel? Like, and so that kind of went down a rabbit hole of me explaining how all of these 3 different men who I haven't known them for 10 years. These are all fairly new people to my community. One, Rocky start me texting him on a Saturday. You know, as a stranger, I didn't know him at the time at all like that.
And you could have took that as like, I ain't never gonna text him again.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
I just said, don't text that nigga on no Saturday, no Sunday.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Then with Kurt, I met Kurt through our Harvard's joint, and we just kept a relationship. We haven't done no business together. We tried to do business together, but it ain't work out. But we still just kept talking because that was just with a client. And then the gentleman on the real estate side, right? These are all 3 things where no money has been there's no exchanges have more money.
Yeah.
This literally information, ideas,
Right.
conversations, and openness
Right.
to be involved with something that's going on.
It's like the door is open to build the community, right?
And so all of these things is like what I talk about when I'm like, transactional relationships are supposed to be beneficial for both parties, right? You know, the conversation with Kurt, he was just like, man, keep me in the loop with that because there might be a way that we can deliver product on behalf of New Balance to kids on behalf of the show. Like whatever it is, he was just like, just keep me in the loop on that, man, because we have not been that intentional about wellness at the brand. We do sponsor this big marathon and we're a running shoe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But we haven't been that mindful and thoughtful on it. And I think that if you put it together, we can think about it in that way. So I don't want to take up the whole time just blabbering, but what in your experiences have been very fruitful relationships where the person led with wanting to be helpful to you as they want something. Like you're a journalist. So I remember pitching you
all day, bro.
All day.
Well, the thing was, it's funny because there's one specific experience that I'll probably never forget. I got introduced to this guy named D Ace through a financial advisor that I met. He was like, hey, I mentor this guy and I think you should meet him. So by this time, me and the advisor, we like this. This is my dog. So I was like, you want me to meet somebody? Cool, no problem. Now, second guess it. I met the kid. He's a young man, but when an OG introduced somebody, it feel like he introduced you to like a kid.
Right.
So I met him. I thought he was cool. Gave him my number, kind of kept in contact. Fast forward, last year, I had to go do Dreamville Fest. J. Cole, they had me sign up for 2 panels to host, to moderate. He calls me. He says, hey, yo, is your panels free? I'm like, bro, I'm in North Carolina. I don't know. He was like, well, I wanna pull up and support you. I said, you gonna drive from Atlanta to North Carolina to watch a panel that might not be free? He was like, yeah, yo, I really just wanna support you. All right, man. He drove all the way from Atlanta to North Carolina and picked me up in his car and drove me to the panel. And I'm just like, why would you do that, bro? Like, Ty, I don't have no tickets for this fest. I don't got no place for you to stay. Like, I'm like, bro, I just want you to understand, like, I really appreciate this act of kindness, but I don't know how I'm gonna be able to repay you.
Right.
I do the panels, and Dreamville gives me 3 passes to the fest. I kept one. I gave one to my business partner, Holland. I gave one to him. I said, bro, I appreciate you just supporting me. Crazy thing is, my uncle just passed. So I have to leave the festival to go to a funeral. Go to the funeral. When I come back, he had been just making connections. I connected him with this journalist named Kia Turner, D-Ace and Kia Turner. I come back, bro, they done met J. Cole. They done did, bro, they been just backstage. They doing all types of stuff. I'm just like, and when I see them, they're just like glowing. Ty, they're like, yo, don't understand. Gave me this pass, bro, and I'm just trying to change my life. Some crazy way, they end up meeting a young lady that got invited to the OVO after party. I'm in Dave & Buster's with Drake after coming back from a funeral. I did nothing, bro. I just got back in his car.
Right.
He drove us to Dave & Buster's. We all got in. It's like him. I came back. He got 6 girls with him. Like, I said, bro, I left you with one journalist. Where did you meet all these people? And now I remember, because I wasn't drinking at the time. It's an open bar. It's all this stuff. It's all of these people at this Drake party. And one of the guys that I interviewed on the panel, when he saw me, he said, nigga, we made it. Nigga, we made it. But I realized the only way I got in there is because I gifted a ticket to somebody who came to North Carolina with the intentions of only supporting me. So the same guy ended up having a short film release for his movie that he's putting out. He asked me to moderate the panel, and I said, bro, of course I'll do it. And at the end of the panel, he brought me his culture playbook to sign. Bro, I'm just like this. I don't know this guy no other way than this financial advisor. But every time there's a way he can be helpful, I've gained something from it. If it wasn't just like access to a place that I wouldn't have been able to get access to. I mean, I went to a funeral and came back. I didn't do any. I didn't meet nobody. I was trying to hustle. He was like, get in the car. And next thing I'm looking at Drake. I ain't never been that close to Drake, bro. I ain't never been that close to Drake.
Never been that
I was just like, I ain't never, and just because it was somebody who just something on his heart was like, hey, I wanna, and he just happened to be, it kind of changed the way I thought about relationships because to your point, man, I do get hit up a lot, like, hey man, check out my album. Hey man, check out this. Hey man, check out that. He was probably the only person that ever said, hey, I'm gonna just come and support you. Cause you got something going on. Not because hey, he's like, he didn't ask, hey, you got a ticket? You got an extra ticket? Like it was just so, it was like pure.
Yeah.
He just happens to be one of the purest people where he just seems like where he's at in his career. Building relationships like that is what he does. He's like that when it comes to transactional relationships. And I admired it so much. So, you know, if there is a world where I just met Carl Cherry for the record for the first time. It's so crazy that you had that because he came to Atlanta. Spotify had
he invited me. I was actually here.
That's crazy.
And he was like, yo, I didn't know you was in town. I like impersonating Carl Cherry because I think Carl Cherry has a cool voice.
That's
like the way he talks.
Yeah.
It's like a narrative of a movie. Like, so I'm always like, I just feel like I'm talking like, yeah. So we're not friends. Like, but it's just funny because when you talk about people, but he is a part of a community that we both are a part of. Right. And that's black men. We work crew together. That's how we met.
Oh wow.
Because he was at Apple working crew. We all was in Australia together.
Wow, I remember
in 2016. And that's how we first met. I walked up to him at a bar. I said, yo, bro, I really appreciate you supporting.
You knew who he was, or did you?
Yeah, I knew who he was because he was a journalist before.
Yes, he did like Vibe magazine, I believe.
And so I always used to see the name when you used to get that list. You're trying to get out to the journal, the bloggers. I used to always see the name.
Carl Cherry.
And so I knew that part about it. So I was here, and he was like, "Yo, come pull up." I was like, I said, y'all were doing some rap shit. And one time, I was literally in there with all the TVs on in the other room at the studio, and I was like, "I'm gonna come clean with you, my brother. I ain't gonna make it." And I think we're at a part of our lives of working in the music business. He was just like, respect. I was like, hey, I don't know. But now you gotta realize, like, Carl Cherry is the head of urban and pretty much black music at Spotify. He's invited me to Rap Radar concert. And I'm like, I'm straight. I'm gonna stay here at East Point and look at this Netflix and daydream. But bro, I don't want none of that smoke because I know exactly what that is. But it's the same thing that if we got something going on, because PK and Carl know each other like way better than I do. And PK will be like, yo, Carl gonna come rock with us. I said, okay, cool, because it might be a lemon pepper wet. So you like, yo, what y'all got going on after that lemon pepper wet? I don't know what PK got going on. I'm going home. I got it going home. That's what I got it going. That's it. But
man, I don't want to cut you off, but Carl texted me and told me that they were going to be in town. The hurricane is coming. Like that day, it's pouring outside. Right. I never met Carl, and that was the thing that got me out the house. The rap stuff, I love watching performances, things of that nature. But I was like, man, the weather crazy. But I'm thinking about who invited me. This is someone I've never met. I know through online. We've texted before. I was really excited to see Spotify enter the documentary space when they did their collaboration with Hulu last year. I got a chance to tell them about how much I appreciate that. But this is the interesting part, right? I'm there, and Carl texts me, and he was like, "Yo, grab me if you see me," right? So I saw him, like, he walked by me really fast. I was like, "Okay, I'm about to go
He was a
grab
fast
Carl."
walker.
Boy, that's that New York, boy. They be moving. He moved through the crowd. He moved through the crowd, and as I'm walking in his direction, I see, you know, Kim Chanel? She works in music. I love Kim. She used to work for Audio Mac,
Mm-hmm.
and I think she manages that kid Kwani from
Yeah.
Philly.
Yeah.
Kim says my name loud. Yo, what's up, Kim? She's standing next to Troy Carter Jr.,
Yep.
who stops me. He's like, "Are you Yo?"
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Bro, I love Fuck You Money." And at that moment, I was like, wait, I'm trying to get the car out now. All this stuff is going on. I'm seeing Kim, I'm seeing Troy. I've never met his son before.
Right.
So I was like, please, I was like, take my number down. I'm gonna text you. I would love to talk more because I was like, trying to talk in those environments, sometimes it's just too
It's too
much.
much.
But I was so excited that I came out that night because I
Mm-hmm.
got the chance to meet him. And then I started to realize that although the live performance is what tends to draw people outside, just sometimes being in a room with people you haven't met before, haven't had a chance to like really connect with, it's just like it's nothing like it
Mm-hmm.
when you're able to like shake hands with people and be like, wow, I'm glad I got a chance to meet Carl. I'm glad I saw Kim. I'm glad I met Troy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've been out since that night.
You know what's so funny about all of this shit is that I remember having a conversation with Carl, I think when he first got to Spotify. And I was like, hey, bro, yeah, man, you got to stop letting this shit get to you because when you are trying to be a good person and working, because Carl is very black and white. He was like, I'll support your record because that's my job. We don't have to go do lunch though. I
Mhm.
don't have to get to know you.
Mhm.
Like you don't have to like that's just skip all of that. We don't if that happens over time, cool. But you don't have to try to like set a meeting up with me to get me to support your music. That's
Mm.
like that's my job. My job is to find these records and be supportive of it, right? And you know, and I remember telling him, I was like, hey bro, like you gotta like not let these folks get to you because it ain't never gonna stop. It was Carl Cherry and it was Majima.
Mhm.
Those were the two people. Majima was working at Spotify and Carl was working at Apple before he went over to
That's
Spotify.
all right.
And people would always have something to complain about to me or regarding those two. And I would always tell them the same thing. Listen, when Sunder first started and Crew first came out and Poison by Brent Faiyaz at Apple Music, Carl Cherry supported it. There was other people that was pushing him, but like they pushed him and he got on board and he was supporting it. He was faster on supporting Sunder, but slower on the Brent side. But Poison was the first thing he supported. On the Spotify side, Majima was early on Poison, early on Invite Me. When it first came out, 2016, I always tell everybody, I don't care if they do not support Brent at this part of his career because they helped when nobody gave a fuck.
Mhm.
And I can never ever be mad or disgruntled because they don't want to support when we drop Fuck the World or when we drop Wasteland. Everything is everybody's cup of tea. And you have to feel like that. And that was me understanding that I'm not like I don't give a fuck if that's not their job to break my client. That's not their job to grow my business. I would always say to them, or any editor, well, here goes some records. I hope you like it. If you don't like it, maybe you'll like the next thing I bring to you. And
Mhm.
I would just leave it at that. But I also did not have transactional relationships. I still have conversation with Majima, and she hasn't been at Spotify in a year and some change, I think. I
Right.
still answer her emails and her text messages when she hit me.
Mhm.
I guarantee you it's a lot of motherfuckers not doing that. Because it's probably people still like, you
Yeah,
fuck
you
about that.
not.
You weren't fucking with me when you was at Spotify, now you're not there no more. But I never took that approach. It's
Mhm.
literally, I just talked to another one of my partners that don't work at Spotify no more. Like, yo, what we doing, baby? What's up?
But that's
How we
the
rocking? And I keep those relationships because I always told myself, if I'm gonna build with somebody, it's not gonna be transactional. If you happen to leave Apple Music and I rock with you, I'm still rocking with you. What's the next spot, baby? Where's the next destination? How can I be supportive where you at the next time?
Because it's not about where you at.
It's not about where you at. Yes, you're at Apple right now, and I need some help. And if you can help me, help me. But when you're not at Apple, just understand that I'm still gonna be there to help you if you need it. And that's the type of relationships I'd rather deal with. But we don't have to be best friends, though. We don't have to be best friends. We can literally one of the homies, Dante, and I always get it fucked. I don't know if it's Deontay or Dante, but Deontay, he's the one that was pushing Brent to support Carl Cherry earlier when we first came out. I'm talking about the summer of 2016. Apple Music was just transitioning.
Absolutely.
Right? So there's a lot of moving people. Streaming wasn't real then either. People didn't think that it was that much of a value to the business. And Deontay would always push that. Now Deontay works with Platoon, and he reached out with a young lady named Zoe on wanting to book Tommy Richmond for this Hyundai content that they was doing. And I pitched it to Tommy and this team, but I knew Tommy was gonna say no. But I gave him some more names. I said, yo, you should look at LaRussell, you should look at this. But that's me still trying to help them. And they was like, yo, LaRussell's on our list. Can you reach out? So I sent the information to LaRussell. LaRussell like, yo, I fuck with it. Just, LaRussell do business a certain kind of way.
Yeah.
As long as the business like this, I'm with it. And they got the business right, and he with it. But still, he reached out to me. I didn't have to respond to his messages since he's not at Apple Music no more, programming my shit. You know what I'm saying? But I just always believed that, that's how you stay tied in with those different, ecosystems and things of that nature. But these are all really great examples on how you get to the fuck you money by not having one-sided relationships. Because that's all we're talking about. We're not talking about, like I said, transactional relationships are beneficial, right? They're beneficial. The ones that are not beneficial are the ones that are one-sided.
One-sided.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But that's relationship building, period. One-sided relationships never benefit the whole. And that's the thing. Like, every one of these stories is people coming together, conversing, finding some type of equal ground. And I love with Carl, he had a boundary that he let you know very early on. And I think that helps you sometimes understand the way to build that relationship is to understand what the boundary is.
Guess what? I've been in the music business, I said soft years.
Yeah.
Since 2008.
Your soft launch.
Soft launch, 2008. It didn't start getting a real turn like, oh shit, this might change my life until like 2013. So that's 2018 and 2008 to 2000 and
you said 13?
No, 2008 to 2024 today. Right? So we're talking about that 16 years.
Yeah.
Right? Not one person outside of Carl Cherry has told me very directly, hey bro, it's Saturday. Why are you hitting me on a Saturday talking about playlisting? Not one person has said that. Literally. Either they ghost you or they respond, like whatever. Not one person. That's what all of them saying is that sometimes transactional relationships can be so loud that you need to hear it so you can understand that this is a human who works at Spotify probably Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
But they're not a walking playlist.
Yeah.
And literally, that's the first time, and I can't think of nobody else that have checked me regarding their boundary.
And you respected it.
Yeah, because I respect boundaries.
Respect boundaries. Yeah. And that's another episode of FYM with Ty and Yo. I hope that you learned a little bit about transactional relationships. I hope you learned a little bit about some great takeaways to build better relationships. And I hope that if you know someone that might benefit from this conversation, that you share, comment, and subscribe.
Yep. And remember, always remember, you're not going to always get what you want when you first meet a person. So it's in your best interest to see how you can serve that person. Because that person is not going to be the one necessarily that's going to help bring you a blessing.
Amen. See y'all next time.